useless!
What's going on YouTube? You're chilling with Trainer Zabza. Today I've got a Wi-Fi battle for you, X and Y, against my buddy Zach. Looking at his team, he's got not a standard team from what I can see in 6th Gen, but he does have an interesting team nonetheless. Florges, which really is a special wall. That's pretty much all it can do. Well, yeah, you know what? That's really all it can do, but that special defense, I don't know why you wouldn't take advantage of that kind of set. Doublade, which is probably a Violite, which I'm not sure if it has recovery yet, so maybe it's not exactly the best set, but I do know it has massive defenses with a Violite, and I know it has really good defense otherwise. Clawitzer, which, while isn't very fast, is extremely especially offensive. Aerodactyl, which is probably his only Mega. Machamp, which you always have to be on the guard for pretty much throughout all the, well, not all the generations, but ever since Gen 5 and the hidden abilities and it got no guard, its dynamic punch set became seriously viable. And really, its only standard set. And finally, Noivern, which I have to keep my eye on because I need to see if it has Frisk, and if it doesn't have Frisk, it's going to have Infiltrator. But enough with that, let's get to it! Like I said before, my opponent is Zach, or as his YouTube name is smashbr0spro33. He's going to start off with his Noivern as I start off with my Talonflame, and not wanting to take any kind of risks and knowing that this thing isn't very bulky, I'm going to go straight for the Brave Bird and KO, which he was not expecting whatsoever. But as long as I've got priority Gale Wings, I don't have anything to worry about as far as outspeeding goes. So here I couldn't remember at the time if Doublade was able to get King Shield as well, so I went for the Roost in anticipation of that. However, he shows me the Shadow Sneak, which means he probably doesn't get it, which he actually doesn't, now I know. And he's going to go for the Toxic as I go for the Flare Blitz, and the Flare Blitz does quite a bit of damage to him. However, he's going to attempt to Toxic Stall me, and this turn I actually go for the Roost, predicting him to go for the Protect to Toxic Stall me, but that doesn't happen, he goes for the Shadow Sneak. And I'm pretty much at the same position I was a couple turns ago. Well, a little bit better off, but pretty much the same. So I go into my Kangaskhan, who's got the Scrappy, and he's going to go for Protect. I go for the Power-Up Punch because, well, Scrappy, and it's going to hurt a lot. Except I get a crit, which, I guess it wouldn't have hurt as much as I thought it would have. So he goes for the Toxic, and I kind of want to try and kill it as fast as possible. But my Power-Up Punches aren't going to be able to do anything so long as he has the Protect. But at this point, he's going to pull out and go into his Annabelle, his Florges. As I go for another Power-Up Punch, he's going to be able to resist the hit, and even at +2, I'm a little bit concerned here. I mean, I'm going to be able to take out this Florges no problem, because I'm going to Mega Evolve, and I'm going to smack this thing in the face with a Return. And knowing that they don't have the best of physical defenses, I can safely say that a Return is going to KO without needing the second hit from the little Kangaskhan. Kangas Jr. Kangas Jr. That's a good word for it. So, toxic damage is really piling up, and he's going to go into his Machamp. So, and he's immediately going to pull back into his Doublade, just predicting me to go for the Protect and stalling out the toxic turns, which is a really annoying strategy, but it does work for him. So, knowing he's going to Protect, I'm going to go into my Florges now, and I'm going to attempt an Aromatherapy, which goes off pretty well. And he's going to Toxic me this turn, but it doesn't matter because I do have the Lumberry, and it is working out really well. I don't know if I even need leftovers. I mean, it's really nice to have that extra recovery, but this Lumberry is really working out for me. So I go for a Wish, as I intend to Wish Pass off to another Pokemon, as he goes for the Toxic, and it doesn't matter, I can just Aromatherapy that off later. So I'm going to switch out, go into my Talonflame just to clean up. And he pulls back and goes into his Extinction, his Aerodactyl. Now, I'm not going to be able to... I know, for one thing, I can outspeed, and two, that a Gale Wings priority... What is it? Brave Bird is not going to be able to take him out. So I'm going to pull back into my Tyrantrum as he goes for the Mega and hits me with a Stone Edge, which doesn't do much thanks to my massive defense. But he's going to go for the Iron Head, and that does a lot despite my ambitious nature. But I'm going to be able to get off a Rock Slide, put him in the red, which is fantastic, and I'm going to pull back to try and save my Tyrantrum for later and go into my Aegislash, which can resist the hit. So Ironhead does a little, pretty much nothing to Aegislash, and he knows that I'm going to try and Shadow Sneak him. So he's going to pull back, go into his Doublade, which is pretty much fodder at this point, and he actually survives with just a smidgen, real smidgen. He's definitely not going to be able to take another hit. And knowing that he can't do anything, I think I'm going to try and be a little cheeky here, go into my Tyrantrum as he goes for the Protect, and go for a Stealth Rock. Now, he goes back into his Extinction, predicting that, but either way, it didn't matter, because one way or another, I was going to get something to die from the entry hazard, either his Doublade or his Aerodactyl. He goes for the Earthquake, predicting me to switch into Aegislash, but no, I'm just going to leave this in for fodder this time, go for the Crunch, and knock him out. So, he switches out into his Clawitzer now, and I'm not going to bother switching, you know, just going to let Surf knock me out. Tyrantrum has done his job beautifully. So I'm going to go into Kangaskhan, I'm going to hit him with the Parental Bond Fake Out, which is going to do lots of damage, and I'm going to be able to knock him out with a Return, or so I thought. He's going to switch into his Doublade, which at that range of HP, I don't know if he even had like 1 HP or something, is going to die to the rocks, and he's going to be left with his I've Got Pex, his Machamp. So I'm going to go for the Return, and based off this damage, if I had gotten off even just a +1 power-up punch before, it would have definitely been knocked out. However, he's going to survive, go for the Cross Chop, and knock out my Kangaskhan. Which, you know what, it's not that big a deal, because I can go into my Aegislash, go for the Shadow Sneak, and knock him out. So, revenge killing everywhere. So down goes his Machamp, and I think he's down to his last Pokemon. I think. Because he's going to bring in his Clawitzer, and I really just wasn't afraid here. He goes for the Surf, which puts me in the red, as I go for the Sacred Sword to finish off the game. So, GG, Zach, that was really fun. Alright, so on to the talk of the day. Today's talk of the day, just got a random question for you guys. Which is your favorite GameCube Pokemon game? Do you guys prefer Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, or do you prefer Pokemon Colosseum? Personally, I prefer Pokemon Colosseum because it seems it gives a more realistic approach to Pokemon, such as people developing stuff to steal them, while still staying away from like the side of death and stuff that really isn't for kids, so I thought it was a little more mature, but still staying within that kid range. But that's just my perception. So leave your guys' opinions down below in the comments, and I will see you guys next time. Be sure to check out the artists that make these videos possible, guys. Also, like and subscribe if you happen to like the video. Or if you'd like some help recording your X and Y battles, shoot me a PM on YouTube or Skype, and I'll get back to you.